I'm sorry, I'm flipping screens here. If it's not fun, I'm not doing it. If it's not fun, I'm not doing it. Mr. James Cline, take it away.
All right. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. If it's not fun, I'm not doing it. I'm going to say that again. If it's not fun, I'm not doing it. This is my main New Year's resolution for 2021. I'm going to inject a little bit of jollification into 2021. So I want you to say it with me, and everybody can unmute for this for just a second. You ready? Say it with me. If it's not fun,
It's not fun.
I'm not doing it.
I'm not doing it.
I'm not doing it.
All right, I'm glad that you guys are all not shy at all. So I'm 55 years old. And for many of those years, like many of you, I've made New Year's resolutions. Let me give you some examples of those. One year I decided I was going to lose 40 pounds and be down to my mythical weight of 160. Well, after trying an impossible diet for about 3 weeks, I gave up, and I was very disappointed with that. One year, I decided to quit drinking. That lasted about 3 days, and I was very disappointed in myself. I decided one year I was going to be a vegan. I made it 2.5 weeks, and then I decided it wasn't for me. Not fun at all. Last year, I had a goal to earn $161,000, and I fell far short of the mark. Not fun. So here's the problem with resolutions. All of the resolutions you make are along the lines of, what's wrong with me? What is wrong with me? And how do I fix it? Guess what? That does not work. That stuff does not work at all. I want to share with you a quote from Naval Ravikant, who is the author of maybe the best book I read in 2020, called The Almanac of Naval Ravikant. Naval says, desire is a contract you make with yourself to be unhappy until you get what you want. Does that sound fun to you? Doesn't sound very fun to me. I'm going to be unhappy until I get what I want. But as I look over my life, I see this pattern happening over and over again. I'm sitting in my house in Moab, Utah, and I'm a senior in high school going, if only I could graduate high school. If only I get to that point and I graduate high school, then I'll be happy. Guess what? I graduate, not happy, not fun. I say, when I finally move away from this house that I've been living in for 18 years of my life and get out on my own, then I'll be happy. Guess what? I wasn't happy. I say, when I graduate college and get out into the real world, then I'll be happy. Guess what? I graduated college, wasn't happy. I say, when I get married, when I finally get married and I have a family and join the ranks of the real human beings who are on the real societal path, then I'll be happy. I get married, guess what? Not happy. I think to myself, you know, I'm driving this 1978 Chevy Chevette, and this is a piece of crap car. When I finally get a new car, then I'll be happy. I get a new car, guess what? Not happy. I go to graduate school and I think to myself, when I finally finish my doctoral degree, then I'll be happy. So I finally graduate. Guess what? Not happy. I think to myself, when I get a job as a college professor teaching what I love, then I'll be happy. Guess what? Got that job? Wasn't happy. When I have a kid and start raising a family, then I'll be happy. Guess what? Had a kid? Wasn't happy. Then I think to myself, when I get divorced, when my marriage ends, finally, I'm going to be happy. Guess what? Got a divorce, my marriage ended, I wasn't happy. When I think to myself, if only I would quit the job that I've been doing for 17 years and do something more fulfilling, then I'll be happy. Guess what? quit the job, not happy. I think to myself, you know, if only I had a hot girlfriend who loves me with all her heart, then I'd be happy. Guess what? Kind of happy. Still, I think to myself, if only I make more money, then I'd be happy. 2020 was the year I made the most money in my life. Guess what? Still not happy. You know why? Because external things don't get you happiness. Happiness is an inside job. For this Toastmasters assignment, it was kind of unusual. It asked you to write down your moods for 2 weeks and then report your findings to the club. You know what I found out? When I wrote down my thoughts every day, a lot of them were negative thoughts. That's interesting to me. You know what's better than what's wrong with me and how do I fix it? How about what's right with me and how do I celebrate that? Doesn't that sound like more fun to you? Sounds like more fun to me. What's right with me? How do I celebrate that? I have a quote that I came up with in my head. I think somebody else came up with it first, so I'm not going to attribute it to myself, but this is one of the mantras I'm going to live by for 2021. And it's advice I'm giving to myself. You could give it to yourself as well. When you decided to be happy without changing anything, that's when everything changed. Let me say that again. When you decided to be happy without changing anything, that's when everything changed. Another way of saying that is, if it's not fun, I'm not doing it. I'm going to say that again. If it's not fun, I'm not doing it. And I want you to all unmute with me and say it one more time. Let's say it together. If it's not fun, I'm not
doing it.
Wish you all the most fun you've ever had in your life in 2021. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.